Hi, this is Paul from the Tank Modeler channel with regards to my final reveal on my Leopard 2 A6 from the German armour school at Munster. And basically I went for the training centre one in the end because I was a trainer myself on the railway for quite a few years. So I decided to do the training centre one, the training school one for the actual German army. And I like the extra decals. There's one or two extra badges on the front as well. The decals were the Tamiya ones and they went on really well. I used Microsol and Set and Solution, so that was good. It actually worked really fine, and as you can see, it laid down pretty well, and they actually look painted on, which is good. Even got the number plate on the front. You can just about make out underneath, which is just, oops, let's get my little smaller version of the pointer stick just underneath there. Also, I didn't realise it until this morning, I hadn't painted these orange lights that are actually on each corner. Very small, they're moulded in, so it's not as if you could paint them off the actual hole. So they was painted in situ today. I painted them, mixed a colour of orange, because I didn't have an orange colour, so I mixed it with red and yellow, the usual things, but more yellow than obviously red, and gave it a nice colour. And then I went in with some gloss varnish onto the four corners as well. And for the size, and I used a treble of this brush here, which I find a Winsor Newton brush, Trebolo. Where is it? Let's get this on. Here we go. Windsor Series 7, and it's the Trebolo one. Really very fine deep brush. You can't see it's in the cover. Always keep them in the cover to protect the brushes. That's good. Anyway, back to the model. And I also used the SPK lighting system, lights for the actual headlights in here, the front, and also around the back end, which you'll see in a minute. Another thing is I added the vehicle. When these tanks are on the road in Germany, they actually have the flashing lights, hazard lights on the top, and so I painted that one using the Tamiya Clear. Luckily for this one, basically what I could do is get a small cocktail stick, shape it to the end, and stick it up inside, and then actually paint the actual glass element with a brush very quickly, so you don't get no brush strokes, and it dries and brilliant, and it worked really well. I painted silver just inside on a little dot that's inside on the stick itself for the kit, and that came out really well, and I quite like that, so that was good. Also, I think you can just about see them, I painted these lenses green. We're using the Tamiya Clear Green again. I think they're a fraction too dark, but I have seen some photographs where they look dark, so I'll get away with it anyway. But next time I will actually spray them, because I actually hand brush those in situ, but when they was actually in the actual holder itself, in the periscope bit itself. It's not periscope as such. The commander could look up through the edge and just peek through and see through the glass. Must be armoured, I should presume, as well. Might be slightly dark, but I'm quite happy with those as well. The whole vehicle received a coat of satin varnish. It was actually yeah, it's like a matte varnish, but it's more of a satin, which suits the vehicle. To the eye, it looks really nice and satin anyway. What else? I haven't done any dusting. I decided, because this was a training centre vehicle, all the military trainees would have had to make the vehicle look pristine every time they finished any exercise. So I've gone with that, and I may still do a light dusting around the underneath, but at the moment, because I want to get on with the Tiger now, I've decided to call it quits. Now these two hairy aerials on the back I actually lost, I couldn't find, so I sent some brass ones from called Leopard Workshop. Brilliant stuff, and he sent me the ones that's LW024 for this kit. But I've got another Leopard as well, which they will actually fit on as well. So, and another couple of other vehicles, so I actually still can use those. And I've got two sets of them. I also got the later one, which is for the Leopard Leopard 2 A7, which is a min kit, but I've actually got the aerials for that as well, and they've actually got all springs and everything, and that was the number for that is LW034R, and they are from Leopard. So this is, I'll just show you now into the kit so you can see what I mean. There we go. Really good surface. I had them within 2 days of ordering, so I was really pleased with that. Of course, when I found the plastic ones, I decided I had to use those for quickness. I used them because I was virtually at the stage for doing it. So, and just like Solomon, those little aerials were in a little plastic tub right at the back, hidden behind another box, and I couldn't find them. And I thought they went into the skip, as it were. But though they were there, so I managed to clean them up and use them. So there you go. So move around, and also you might notice some reflective lenses on the actual drivers and periscopes, and I think you can see them all changing colour a little bit as it goes round. Also on the top, in the actual commander's periscope, which does turn if you wanted to, There you go. I'm going to leave it slightly straight on. So that's there as well. Also, you can see the Commander's Hatch. I think you can see them. They've all been done as well. Now, in the instructions, or destructions as I like to call them, the periscopes for the Commander's Hatch, because I was putting them into the turret that was already pre-built, what I actually did is it says 4mm to cut. You get a strip to actually cut them all off of. To actually use for all the periscopes around the Commander's Hatch, which is here. What I did is I actually cut them to 6mm. The reason being is I was holding them on tweezers and sliding them up in after putting some white glue in. A good thing, the white glue dries clear, and held them in place until they stuck. And then once they'd stuck, started to settle in there, then I went back in here with a bit of more PVA just to make sure they didn't move again. Now the good thing is, if they ever fell out, I could replace them anyway. But that's what I did. But I also put the anti-slip bit, the anti-laser protector on there from the Abrams kit that I built about last year sometime, or the year before it might be now. I had some over. I'd never get rid of it because you've still got a load of material left around the outside where you cut the bits out for that particular, for the Abrams. So that's what I used. I didn't have to get another set. I just cut them to size and then cut them around with a sharp scalpel so they was actually tight fitting on it, and then put them up in place. I think they look really nice. I wasn't going to do it, but I decided to do it because some of the photographs do show different colours when the tank's moving, so I went with it as well, same as Switcher did. Going back round side now, you can see the big. I've actually done all the paint of the caps of the smoke dischargers. I don't know if you can see that very well, but it is actually been done. I'm going to raise it up in a minute and give you another camera angle in a second anyway. Turret still moves quite nicely round, and I'll just give it a little twist on there. You can see what I mean. I think you can just about see the shovels. You'll get a better view of that from the top view. The call outs in the instructions for the shovels were actually, the metal parts were in olive drab, and I was a bit debatable about that, but I decided to go with it, and so that's been done. So going around again, and now you get around to the tail. Now as you can see, I'll leave it like that. When you look here, you can see the cross there. Now that looks brilliantly painted. Now I've got to be honest, I used the decals that were in the kit. I didn't realise they was there. They were there, and they fitted perfectly. Fiddly to put in there, but I did get them in the end. Also, that SPK lighting kit for the Leopard has been used. You can see the actual lights. They look really good and clear. I used the plastic elements that were there to create the lights, but I actually stuck these on top of them, and it still gives a really good representation of the actual lights themselves. I haven't put the tow cable on, as you can see. I decided not to because I've seen a few photographs where they weren't on there, so I decided to keep it a little bit clean at the back. Going round, I might put a bit of wear on around the Commander's hatches later, but that'll be using a bit of sponge effect or something, or a few scratches. Nothing major on this one. Going round, and you can see the periscopes again, quite nicely changing colours as you go round. There you go. So moving back round to the front again. Well, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to switch off and then come back in from above view. See you in a minute. Hi, I'm back, and this is the top view of the vehicle. Just showing the bits and pieces. I think you can still see a bit of green there, definitely, and you can see a bit of the reflectiveness of the actual driver's periscopes, commander's periscopes. Well, I've done this view really mainly to show you the engine deck. Basically, we got the shovels done. What I did there is put some clear. I used life colour, cool wood colour, and then I went over with Tamiya orange a little bit over there to give a bit of a grainy look to the actual shovels. Quite reasonable. I wish I'd painted them off the vehicle, but I still done a reasonable job of in situ, which is a good thing. Also, as I said, it called out for olive drab to be used for the tools and bits and pieces. And to be honest, I wasn't very impressed with the colour at first when I was putting it on, but now I look at it and I think it just looks the part. So, and that's what it's all about. This modelling basically looks the part, and that's the main thing. So I'm really pleased with the way that came out. The camera on the back, if I just come around, I don't know if you can see the camera. Should have pointed that on the top view with the other view, but the camera on the front, but I actually painted this when I originally did the vehicle with the green, and then I put it aside to do the lens on the camera, which I've done with a bit of oh, what's it called? Mask, not mask wool. Let's get there. Micro crystal clear. Again, a good product, and I actually dropped a little bit in the square, painted it black inside, and put that on top, and it gives it a lens appearance on the camera. Now I could have sprayed this, but because it couldn't go in place until the vehicle was finished, I thought to myself, well, no, what they've done is this was a modification and they put it on there in the original green and they haven't sprayed it back over yet. Eventually it will get it, obviously. So I've decided to leave that exactly as it was when I sprayed it the first time, when I sprayed the vehicle. It gives the green a slight difference, and it adds tonal difference to the back of the vehicle, which is quite nice. As I said earlier on, all the bits and pieces. I'll go around slightly to the front a little bit. I think you can see, get a view from above. I thought the periscopes was going to be a bit awkward to do. There was one over in the far corner on the commander thing, but to be honest, coming in from underneath, if you built the turret up completely and then put the visors in afterward, the periscope glass perspex and in afterwards, there'll be no problem at all. Good thing is, like I said, I left that's glued in place now, and there's a little rubber washer inside that basically allows it to still turn, and it still does. So that's a good thing about that. So that gives you an idea of the top. Anyway, so there you go, another view of the shovels coming round, and I think you can see a bit better the colour they look. I'm quite happy with that, and I was going to say I might be a bit of wear on them at some point in the future, but to be honest, I'm quite happy this being a school vehicle being used for training. So it would have been pretty pristine. But I'm going to put some wear around the hatches where it would be used, so, and a few other places, and I might put some oil bits around the refueling bits as well. So that's all going to be coming later on, so I shall possibly be doing that. So anyway, so let's put that back round to the front where it should be, as I call it. There you go. So that is my final reveal of the Leopard 2A6. I have got a version of the Leopard, the Leopard 2A4, which is one with a square turret, which I do like as well, and I've got an original Leopard 1, I think it is, down there as well, to build in the future. So the areas I bought from Leopard, anything Leopard, basically, so anything to do with Leopard Workshop, and I'll just go give them another little bit of a, there you go, whoops, that's upside down, but there you go. I think you can see it, Leopard Workshop. Really good place to look. If you just put Leopard Workshop in your search and you'll find it. Very helpful and quick. And basically it's based in England, so it was quite quick. As I said, 2 days to come. Now I'm going to do a shout out. And I'm going to basically come up, and I think you're going to know this is it. Now I haven't got a shop card in any way, shape or form, because obviously it's like a thing. It's a thing in America, I think. But Rambler 69 sent me this. There we go. And I'm going to put that like that so you can see it. Beautiful card. There it is, Rambler 69, Starring Addict. A really great card. And thank you very much again, Tom, for sending that. It was brilliant, and it come very quickly. So I'll put that over there. And he sent his limited edition one, which is here we go, Rambler 69, and I think there you go, and I think you can see that as well. Really, another lovely card from a beer label. He showed on his one of his latest videos. The actual bottle was sent as well, not full, because he said he didn't drink much, but he was happy at being empty. But it's going to sit in the far corner of his display area, I think, showing old Tom original as a beer. Brilliant. So thank you very much again, Rambler 67, Tom, I should say, for that. Fantastic. They will be. And what I'm going to think about doing is having a little card holder at the back, and every time I've got a video, sometimes just shove it in the background so for it. But anyway, thanks very much for sending those. That's brilliant. And so this is the end of the Leopard update, Leopard 2A6 update. I don't think you'll see this vehicle for a while now, because it might even go to the local model shop, because he likes to put a few kits in his window just to show what can be done with a model. Really pleased with the camo now. I've got to be honest, has grown on me, and I have seen some photographs where this brown looks like this brown, and the black, as Switcher said, doesn't look black, but it's like it is black. It's funny, and it wears on me. Even the green doesn't look as bad as it used to. I did spray over. I will say one thing, because when I sprayed the matte varnish, it seemed to do something to it. So what I did is very quickly done a light spray of lacquer thinners, MRP's and MRP's lacquer thinners over the top of the vehicle and the turret, and let it dry. And believe it or me, it took that little bit of sort of matte that had been overdone off the varnish, and it worked a treat. So I'm really pleased with it. So anyway, lessons learned on this vehicle, which was really good. And I'm quite pleased with it. See the old lights on, the orange lights on the front. They come out quite well considering how small they were. Anyway, I'm not going to ramble on a little bit here. No, I didn't mean that. Don't want to ramble on too much now, so I'm just going to move that over to there. Thank you very much for watching again, and thanks again to old Tom for sending me those Rambler 69. I'll just put that over there. Whoops, there we go. Rambler 69. Thank you very much. So I'll catch you on the next one. Happy modelling.